It's another beautiful morning with us on Jasiri, and what better way to start off today's show than to raise the Jasiri flag high for one Nigerian that is making waves on the internet right now. You know, it's one thing that always stands out about Nigerians is this our can-do spirit. No matter what the challenge, we always rise to the occasion. And Tunde Onakoya is rising to the occasion and is on a quest to set the Guinness World Record for the longest chess marathon unbeaten. Unbeaten, guys. So this is the live footage from him. He's done a number of games already now. He's done about, I don't know how many hours, but
hours.
He's still on the way. No, that's how long the game. So with chess, they count the games by time. So he hasn't done 17. He's done a little bit more than 17 hours. So I think we have more of the details of his live record-breaking event.
My dear, officially, so he kicked off the 58-hour marathon yesterday at 10 a.m. at Times Square, London. Oh, Times Square, New York City. I need to go to London.
It's time for you to travel.
Yeah. Well, according to the timer, he's done over 17 hours and counting. The marathon is supposed to end by 8 p.m. tomorrow. So when I say not be beans, it's not beans. Did you see how he was so fixated on the game when he was... I mean, this is, you see person when go night school, went to night school to learn this chess game. Do you know, it's not for everybody. Mama, can you play chess?
Yeah. Hey, God, Catherine, how can you be asking Gen Z? Do you think he's beans?
Yeah.
That is why he's the one in Times Square. And not you, really, or Gen Z. Why are you giving me that look? You think it's about lace wig? It's about lace brain. It's only smart people that can play chess.
So, Auntie, can you play chess?
Why are you here? Why are you not there?
On a serious note.
On a serious note.
Do you know how many games he has played now? Because I will not let you be focused on me. Chess is not for the lily-livered. It's not for everybody. They didn't send me from heaven to do it. He was sent. He was called. Oh. You have something to say. No, that's why Sunday sailed away from you.
I said that's his ministry. I was supporting you.
Okay.
My God.
It is horrible. But you know, in fact, when you look at this, I think one of the things I found interesting is that there are only 5 black people in the history of chess to ever make it to Grandmaster. There are levels in this thing. Right now, Tunde is a master at our level here in Nigeria and internationally as well. He has represented the country. But Grandmasters, there are only 5 people. If Tunde is able to do this, he can
become a grandmaster. Oh my God.
Is it the number of games you've played?
It's the number of games you've won and played.
Wow.
But you know,
I could be wrong. I don't play chess, Joe.
Honestly, chess isn't something you rush unless you're playing like speed chess. The only thing that Blessing does with speed. Let's not say it on national telly. Anyway, we will join back.
What do I do with speed?
What do you do with speed?
It's not there. Producer.
What
do I do with speed?
Anyway, we joined former President of Shibaju and many others in celebrating today and supporting him in this challenge. Don't you always think that there's a time that government should actually do something that when they support and congratulate, they contributed. Imagine how dilapidated our sports has become. Imagine if it's something that the National Stadium is thriving, people are really seeing places to exercise and do their stuff and push their craft, and when they go on national tournament, when they now say, we congratulate you,
You're speaking
I feel as if they did something. But this is his hustle. It's just like when we start to lay claim on Anthony Joshua, somebody that we didn't do nothing for. But now, because he's Nigerian by birth,
I think
we have to milk it.
But I think it's a start.
Well,
the fact that they're even recognizing
Tony.
it, to be honest, the likes of Toby Amuson, Hilda Bassi, and now this, the fact that they're recognizing it is something. Because it's one thing to, embark on this journey and like who sent him is on his own, but the fact that they're actually, I think that their recognition of it made more people know about it, and I'm excited for Tunde. I think we've had him here at News Central before, where he spoke about chess and how he has encouraged people. He said something in one of his interviews that when he started, he didn't know how chess would put food on the table of the children, but he just knew that it would give them a new identity, and that's a powerful thing. Like I said, that's his ministry, and I feel like even if he doesn't set the record, which I believe he will, I'm rooting for him. Tunde is about to become Nigeria's new sweetheart. I think he has been the sweetheart, but he's not just had the spotlight. He's not been the poster boy. And he deserves every single win. He deserves every single recognition because he's gone all out for these children. We've seen the things that he has done. We at News Central have had, I think, a report about it. It's been a beautiful thing, what he's been doing for the children. And for those who don't know Tunde Onakoya, he's not just a chess enthusiast. He's a true ambassador for the game, and he's the founder of Chess in Slums Africa, where he uses chess to empower the young and underprivileged in impoverished communities and slums across Lagos State, including places like Ikorodu, Makoko, Oshodi, and recently Lekki Ekpe. And might I just add, he is fine.
No, he just has a swag about. I think it's just a calm swag that when you look at him, he has that look of a model pose where he just sits down.
Anything
he doesn't need to do much.
Yeah. Can we focus?
Yeah.
But we have to.
Why are you dreaming?
Can we focus?
I know him personally. If you want
to. So he is on a live stream. If you're interested, you can look forward to follow up with him. He's had a lot of people just coming in right now. It's quite cold. This is New York Times Square right now. It's quite cold, so they're bundled up. But we know that former Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, as we said earlier, has congratulated him. The governor of Lagos State as well, Sanwo-Olu, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, former Vice President of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, as well as Tony Elumelu, have all congratulated him, have all supported him, and they're urging him on, giving him good luck and all of that. And he really does serve as an inspiration in all of this.
I also love that Adekunle Gold was there.
Yes,
I saw the video.
Nigerians in diaspora, please,
New York.
Go to New York, Times Square, go and support him physically. At least if he knows that his tribe is there, it's good. And Tunde, I'm so proud of him because it's not like he's been devoid of personal challenges.
Yeah.
You know, he had surgery recently.
Yes,
and
he was out for a while.
Yes, and that really shows his humanity, that he battles his own demons, but yet his life is so impactful. So Nigerians in diaspora, this would be a good thing for you to fly from all over. Jersey, where are we? Plenty.
Houston, Atlanta. No, we're plenty in New York and DC. New York guys show up. DC take guys. A train, show up.
Yes, show up for him. Yeah. I'll really buy you biscuits when I'm coming in. Or chips. I promise I'll bring chips. 100 naira chips.
Granite?
No. Catherine can't have the capacity to
I knew we'll get there.
But aside from the fact that he's trying to break the Guinness World Record or set it, he's also doing this to raise $1 million for children who don't have access to education. That has been a corner piece of all the work that Tunde has been doing. The last time I checked this morning, yesterday I checked, it was around 8,000 they've made. I think they're about $15,000 into that challenge for people who have donated to it. So we're going to be following very closely, and we hope to see Tunde here in News Central on Jasiri when he returns from this record-breaking attempt.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Tunde. Fly the flag high, and we definitely wish you all the very best. Now, ladies, it's not just about challenges and success.
Yes, it's not. Actually, there's been a lot of raised eyebrows and valid concerns regarding safety on movie sets, especially after the tragic boat accident that claimed the lives of my friend Junior Pope and 4 other crew members whilst on a movie set in Asaba. While it seems that Nigeria has moved on from this, it's crucial to address these concerns head-on. So, in light of that, after the break, we'll be having a conversation with a producer and an actor about how we can ensure safety of cast and crew in the Nigerian film industry, otherwise known as Nollywood. Jasiri will be right back.
Welcome back, and we're streaming live on your social media platforms. Please, we're at News Central TV, and don't forget to use the hashtag Jasiri to be part of the conversation. As fans of Nollywood and a stakeholder myself, we're all invested in the industry and the people who bring our favorite stories to life. With recent events shining a spotlight on safety concerns on film sets, it's now more important than ever to address these issues. Joining us today is someone who wears multiple hats in the industry. She's an actress and a filmmaker, Flores Waleke Okechukwu. Welcome to Jasiri.
I see how the colors just popping.
Thank you, lady.
You look great.
Thank you.
You look fantastic. Let's get into this conversation. So when it comes to safety concerns as an actor and producer, all the work that you've done, what do you look at? Where are your concerns? What are your experiences, particularly on Nollywood sets, when it comes to safety, health, anything in that regard?
Okay, so do I speak as an actor or?
You can start the question, speak, answer as an actor, then also answer as a producer too.
Okay, so as an actor, the bulk of my experience has been shooting in a studio, which relatively, you could say, has been quite safe, you know, and it's been with multinational companies. So they've looked out for us in terms of health, safety. We're all on a HMO, you know, so it's like they go all out to make sure that, you know, the actors and their crew are well taken care of. Now, it's a different ballgame when you're working with indie producers and you have to go on location, you know. In fairness to them, there are a lot of things that you leave to chance. Not leave to chance, really, but things that you have limited control over. You know, like having to move your cast and crew from one location to another, not knowing what to expect from, you know, day A to day B on each locations and all of that. So for me, my major concern as an actor when working on those kind of sets where you have to move around a lot has been finishing late and having to go home. I have a phobia.
For moving around? For
moving at night. Once it's 12 a.m., I just want to stay put wherever I am and not move. And maybe that's why I'm not a clubby kind of girl, you know. Okay, so when things like that do happen, when I foresee, because it starts with what call time you're given. If you're given a late call time, most often than not, you end up staying late into the night. Yeah. Even if it's just one scene you have, you just have to leave room for that possibility. So what I do, like I always say, as an actor, you have to look out for yourself. Yes, it's okay to depend on a producer to take care of you and look out for your needs, but you're not the only one on set. They're looking out for 80, 100, 120 people at a time. So you can take care of yourself. So the way I take care of myself is, if I find that I'm going to be there late into the night, I either get someone to drop me off, I book my own cab, I tell him, okay, when I'm done, I'll call you, come get me, or I look for a friend that lives, like if I'm working on the island, because I live on the mainland, I look for a friend that lives close by, and say, babe, I'll be coming to crash afterwards. You know, just look out for yourself. Don't take for granted that that producer has made provision for accommodation. Might be very huge.
I think this next question has to be me. Yes. Because we're still looking at Jehovah to increase us. I tell people everywhere in the world that it's not only in Nigeria that we have low budget productions. It's not like I do rock bottom, but I'm not at the echelon yet. I'll get there. It's inevitable. There's sometimes, and I say this with all humility and I don't know how empathy or whatever, sympathize with producers that are on that level. But there are actually productions that the producers lack empathy. I've been on a few. And so what steps can actors actually take and crew members to be able to prioritize their safety? I have seen gaffers, you know, climbing on each other to pull lights without a ladder. And, you know, I've seen a lot of, you know, strange things on set that you know that. Imagine a set, there's something we call an art director. That means a set designer is there and maybe a knife is supposed to fall from some height and you can see that they are just chancing it. It's not like, oh, they plan. So in those kinds of situations, what can individuals do? Don't forget that our industry is weird. If you I've had to be over nice because I want people to call me on the set and I have to do many things for myself, even provide my own food. Because you want them to call you back. So what can you do that they will not term you bougie and they will just blacklist you?
It's your side for me. Okay, so I can only speak for myself, you know. It's a struggle, especially when you're thinking, okay, this producer might think that my own is too much. This producer might think, oh, I will take care of myself, I will not cater to my needs, you know, and all of that. But in the end, I think you just have to take care of yourself. Because when it happens, so everybody just moves on, you know, you just, numero uno, you take care of yourself. But as an actor, okay, but that's not excusing a producer from not having empathy, not, you know, being there for your people. You talk about gaffer. Like, okay, so I was producing a film recently, and they needed to throw lights from the next compound. They know that if they ask me, I will have to run around to make sure that, you know, they're able to gain access into someone else's compound. It's usually very tedious because then you have to make sure there's someone in the compound. You have to go and ask for permission and all of that. So I think he just wanted to get the job done really quickly. So what he did was he climbed the fence. I didn't know. He climbed the fence and did it. When he had done and they had finished shoot, he came out, he was bragging. He was like, Mama, I don't draw. I said, how did you do it? I said, we needed light from that place. I said, okay, let me go and get it. He said, no. I said, he has done it. He climbed the fence and I'm like, what? He said, that's why he didn't tell me. That's why I didn't tell you. I know you will freak out, but I've done it now. I don't draw. You know, sometimes they go out of their way to make sure the job is done. The least you can do as a producer is to make sure that the environment is safe. And what I have done, what I insist, what I always do is to make sure that there's a nurse. I buy all the drugs. Like, okay, so recently we finished shooting at Ibejuleki. It was a village scene. We stayed there for 2 weeks. It was crazy. But I realized that there were a lot of things that could go wrong. You know, I had gone there several times to make sure that, okay, you know, during pre-production, we're thinking, what could go wrong? What could happen? Okay, it's sunny, right? Yes, but it could rain. You know, what can we do to make sure that while we're shooting, if it rains, we can protect our people? You know, what can we do when it's really sunny? What can we do? You know, we're thinking to buy big umbrellas, buy 3 big umbrellas, which they never used.
Okay, so let me interrupt you just a little bit.
But it was there, which is what I always tell them. I'd rather have something available and you don't use it than it's not available when we need it.
Yeah. Do you think, hearing you speak, I mean, we know that based on the project you're working on, based on
who you're working with.
Exactly. You singularly take it upon yourself to make sure that these checks and balances are sorted out. In the industry, how many percentage of producers would you say, quite honestly, that work with the same thinking as you work?
I think quite a few. Percentage. Maybe 40.
40%.
Yes, maybe 40%.
That's still not pass mark in some
It's
schools.
not. That's not hard.
It's fair.
Well, but then it's something. It's better than what we had before. I like to think, you know, and I think it also it bears a lot on where these other producers are coming from. What were they exposed to? Why did they think they were qualified to be producers? What qualifications do you have? I am not talking about Bali. I'm talking about, you know, your way of thinking.
Because everybody feels that they can be producers.
Oh, yes.
Everybody just walks in and have a listen, no, do this thing.
Yes.
So what qualifies, before someone says they want to be a producer, and I tell people, not everybody can be a producer.
Yes.
And not everybody can be a director. Just know your market. But how does one get to be, what are there requirements? Because the perception of Nollywood out there is that anybody with money can be a producer.
Let's know that there's a difference. There's producer.
And there's line producer, there's EP.
There's line producer, there are different aspects. There's project, so I would say PM, project manager.
But most often these days you see EP.
EP
is the line producer, and the producer is the director. You know, Okay, so for me, like someone came up to me and said that she wanted to pursue production. So I said, okay, work with me for a bit. When we finished, I told her, I had to tell her, it's not your line.
Wow.
You know, and it's not because it's more a skill set. It's more who you are. Yes. You know, like you talk to somebody and you say, no, you make a fantastic doctor or you make a fantastic nurse. Because you put people's needs above yours. Like, not above, but you prioritize what people need, what people will need on your set. Yes. You know, you think to yourself, I'm dragging these people from their comfort zone. I'm saying, don't worry, I'll cater for you. I'll take care of you. I'll make sure you're in an enabling environment. I'll make sure you're safe. And then you bring them on your set where you are seemingly the author, you know, of that set. And then you don't take care of them.
So, you know, let's go to Junior Pope's situation. Unfortunately, a tragic loss of life for him, 3 others as well. But this particular incident, so we've been seeing Nollywood deaths, but typically coming either from old age, older veterans in the industry, some of health conditions. But this was a very young, vibrant actor. And then it happened on sets. It happened in the course of making a movie. How do you think this tragic incident has impacted the perception of health and safety in the industry? Has it prompted conversations? Are people wanting to to do more, to do better? Are people now double checking, wanting to ask, okay, where am I going? What's the precautions that are in place? Because even if as we talk about Junior Pope, let's not also forget that there are safety issues when it comes to filming on location.
Yeah.
We've had Biodun Stevens here who's talked about the assaults on Lagos, in Lagos.
Yeah.
We've seen situations where maybe they might want to attempt to kidnap a crew member, a cast. So it's a conversation that's wider than Junior Pope's situation, but that recent issue is one that's really on everybody's mind. How has it changed things for anyone in the industry? Has it?
It's a really sad, it's a sad experience. It's really, really sad. I mean, for starters, we're talking about it, aren't we? I'm not sure a lot of shows have talked about safety, like say, okay, we're talking about safety in filmmaking, and we are creating that environment here. So yeah, I think it's helping produce. I like to think that it's helping producers think twice, before dragging people on set and say, okay, let's shoot. So they're realizing now that, okay, so it's not so clean cut. It's not where we just shoot, where we pay them, made them go. There's more to it. You need to sit down and do your pre-production. Pre-production is very important. And pre-production stage, you're talking about the safety of your people. You're talking about the realization of the story on set. It's a holistic thing. So I like to think that, yes, it's a sad occurrence. It's a tragic one.
I just want to expand it a little because I know that we have associations, different types. There's AGN, there's Actors Guild, there's this, there's that. Do you think they hold sway? Because I know that after this tragic accident, I think AGN came out
with a statement.
And with a statement, and they put some things out. Do you think that they have enough power to be able to insist on some of these things?
Yeah.
Yes, I think they do. I think strongly that in Nigeria, we're very dogged. I feel like whenever we set our hearts to do something, we usually get it done. So I think it just has to do with persistence, drive, motivation, saying, okay, this is going to be on the agenda and we're going to push it. And we're going to make sure that regulations are put in place to protect actors, to protect crew members, to protect sets, just put those measures in place. I know several times I've tried to get insurance for my productions, and unless I am wrong, and if there's any insurance company out there that makes provision for filmmakers, and please, by all means, let me know.
And that was actually going to be our next question in terms of insurance policies for actors, for crew members on sets as well. What happens if there's a fire hazard, loss of life, property damage? So as you're saying right now, you're not aware of any particular...
I am not.
And you being not aware doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but for you to be in the industry, to not be aware is significant.
Yes.
I actually think that insurance companies can actually tailor...
A Nollywood product.
They can tailor their products to suit almost everything. It's just like when you do body insurance, you can insure parts of your body. I've heard models that insure their
legs.
I think maybe their hesitation is the fact that it's short-lived. So I'm shooting for like a week, or I'm shooting for like 2 months, and then it's done. So maybe that's where they have to sit down now and then say, okay, maybe we can create a policy that is tailored to this.
Okay, and that's that's what I expect the Actors Guild of Nigeria, the unions representing the actors, the unions representing production and cast to actually do. But also, there are no standard. Where are the standards or the protocols? What happens with work conditions, working times? You've mentioned accommodation, transportation, late night filming. In some situations, you can't. A child can only be on set for 5 minutes, depending on the age. As they grow older, like in the U.S. in particular, they can only do 4 hours of shooting. That's why you see so many Hollywood movies employ twins, so that one can do 4 hours, the other can do whatever the
and
hours.
body doubles as well.
Body doubles, things like that. Where are those protocols? Where are those standards for Nollywood?
Well, I hope that they're working on it. I mean, I'm hoping that now that we're having these open discussions, they're thinking about it and working towards it as well. But so far, I haven't heard anything about such regulations being in place or even being implemented at that. But if there are such regulations, then I think it's about time we started implementing them and seeing to, the well-being of people, because, I mean, we have to learn to prioritize. Like you talk about empathy, I think it's something that we don't talk enough about. And it's not just in the creative industry, it's in most industries. We hear people working tirelessly. There was a video I saw on social media where a group of men were in a BRT bus, and they were all, like 80% of the men were sleeping.
Wow.
So it's like the labor rules, labor policies, they need to be tighter. We need to look out for people. we need to look out for people.
So circling back to the tragic incident now, we know that in a movie set, it's not just the actors, the cast and crew members that make up, and sadly, you know, the makeup artist lost her life, the sound guy lost his life. I'm not going to talk about the reason why these people seem desperate, because I think Lolo was the one who mentioned that some people, no matter what they do to you on set, you still want to go back, no matter how much they pay you on set. So I don't even want to talk about how tedious it is to get those roles, but I want to ask if there's a possibility to ensure that, you know, it's one thing to make sure that there are laws, there are things to protect, you know, their equipment and, for example, life jackets and things like that. But how do we ensure that, or how do we enforce it to make sure that people use it? Because, you know, those people might get there and be like, oh, others are not using it. Let me not, like you said, let me not do too much. Let them not say my own wildlife is too much. And so they just go along with everyone. So, yes, there's a limit to what the producers can see or what they can control. But how do we ensure that even when the producers are not there, for example, transporting them, that they still, you know, use these things?
I get where she's coming from. And because, you know, we're very, like you said, we're dogged people. We can say that, this thing, close eye open, we don't reach now 15 minutes back. So there's tendency to just discard that.
Because if the main people do not use the life jacket, the main people, I mean the actors now, you know, the others who just want to tag along, like after all, these ones are not using it.
Well, that's why I said that we all have to look out for ourselves. If for you getting on a boat, you're thinking, I need a life jacket, you're going to insist on it and you're going to get it. Right? I've had, so for instance, on that set, we had a crew member that had a blood pressure that was off the roof. On a good day, if I didn't have a nurse on set, I wouldn't know, because he won't come to tell me. He won't come and tell me that he hasn't been sleeping well because, you know, the fan was too high. He won't come to tell me all of those things. He would bear it. He would hold on to it. So imagine if I didn't have a nurse and he was able to come meet me to say, Mama, see. Then I'll be able to do something about it. Do you understand? And he knows that he has a record of high blood pressure, but he didn't come with his drugs. You know? But I had, as a team, we had decided, what if we have somebody who has high blood pressure and we can't run out to go get drugs? So the nurse has to make that provision as well. So because we had made those provisions, it was then easy and one of the provisions I made was, please, every day you need to check the blood pressure of everybody on set. So that was how we're able to
catch him.
And you know another thing, because I'm an industry practitioner myself, one of these things that I find hard is the demarcation between cast and crew. At least I would even say that, let's say cast, especially if you have grade A actors on set, their welfare is guaranteed. But when it comes to crew, is there a crew association? Because I have seen many of them overworked. I've seen sets they close at, let's say they wrap the set at 3 a.m. and they have a call time of 7 a.m.
They just sleep on the floor somewhere.
Some of them just pass out anywhere they can, and in the morning everybody's body is oozing because they can hardly even have time to shower, and you know, and sometimes they prioritize the conditions or the welfare of actors. Imagine if actors have eaten as early as 8 and crew members, they are still cooking at 10 for breakfast. So is there any association that caters specifically for crew? Because I know that actors might have some kind of sway over it. But what happens to crew?
I don't know if there's any one association that that covers all of them. But I think each individual, they do have. I mean, there's a costume association. There's one for lights. There's one. So of course, there are agencies that look out for them.
I think they need to look out more for their people.
I agree.
And I think there was a time that, sorry, am I monopolizing?
No.
There was a time actually, because we've seen, Tolu mentioned earlier that we've seen a lot of veterans fall on, their health become poorly when they're older. But I know that there was a time they were pushing for insurance for especially veterans in the industry. How has that panned out? Because we're still having incidences of them having to come out and look for money to be able to upkeep them in their old age. Is there a really stringent thing they've put on ground for that?
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't work with the agency, but I hope they have something that would help now, or at least because I also think awareness matters. A lot of people don't know that, for example, there's there's a healthcare system in Lagos State, a healthcare scheme, like a HMO, that covers you for a year. And you just pay as well. When I did it, it was 7.5
or something like
yes,
that.
Yes. A lot of people don't know that it's as cheap as 7.5. Wow. So I think awareness is also key. It's important. And with that, you have free healthcare in any Lagos State's, own hospital. So yeah, I think a lot needs to be done in terms of sensitizing people about, what they can do personally or as a group to look out for themselves.
Very true.
All right, well, unfortunately, that's the much we can take, but I think that it's been a very insightful conversation, and I do hope that, I heard the things that you mentioned, how you were very meticulous about the things you need to provide for your team members, and I really hope that every producer, director would, do same. But thank you so much, Florence Okechukwu, actress and filmmaker. It's been a pleasure having you on Just Siri today, and you look beautiful again. Have I said that? All right, everyone has been touched by what happened to Junior Pope and Abigail Frederick, Precious Oforum, and Joseph Anointing. We send our condolences to their families. No words or thoughts or prayers will ever be enough. But we hope that by shining a spotlight on the incidents that claim these lives, we can ensure critical assessment of how things are done and work to make sure that this never repeats itself. Now, we want to encourage everyone out there and remember a safer and a healthier environment in Nollywood and beyond is everyone's responsibility. We'll go for a break now, and when we come back, it's Hot Topics time.
The recent announcement of the Nigerian government's disbursement of 200 billion naira in palliative loans has certainly sparked a lot of conversation and interest. It's a significant move aimed at providing much-needed support to businesses and individuals across the country. Now, the Bank of Industry said it would be dispersing 3 categories of funding to support manufacturers and businesses across the nation. Giving a progress report on X, formerly Twitter, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Doris Anite, disclosed that some beneficiaries have received their grant, adding that another disbursement will be made to verified applicants on April the 19th. Guys, did you hear about this? Because these are loans. This is not the conditional cash transfer scheme. These are small business loans that are meant to come back to the government. So I'm wondering, how did I miss it? I have a small business I could have applied for. I'm just wondering about that. Did anybody catch the publicity on this?
I'm just hearing about this, but even if I heard it before, I'd have been skeptical because I want to know what the terms are. The student loan did not help my mind when I hear about government loans because I
think everybody is of that opinion and of that mental atmosphere because number one, nobody likes to go for loans except you're in a tight corner. That's one. And then
most Nigerians are in a tight corner.
I did tell you. But if you now that terms and conditions, people should actually learn to take them more seriously because there's some hidden
hidden clauses.
Yeah. I actually belong to a couple of
WhatsApp groups.
WhatsApp groups that are business, NASME, Lagos. So I'm looking to be sure that
you didn't miss it.
I don't think
there was quite a noise made about it. It's just I think when people hear the amount that is there, like 200 billion, but questions will be raised, of course. What are the processes? The transparency? What is it, gangan? Are there things that are hidden in English language that we don't know about? And what are the steps you need to follow? You need to apply for this. What kind of business is qualified for?
Okay, let me give some. I was able to get some additional detail. President Bola Tinubu had earlier announced the grant in an address where he explained his determinations to strengthen the manufacturing sector, increase its capacity to expand, and also create good-paying jobs. Now, applicants were 2 weeks after the president's address directed to submit their national identification NIN, national identification numbers, as part of the requirements to obtain the grant that is meant to cushion the effect of recent economic reforms. My question is that, so give me these grants, but how are you giving me these grants and electricity? I'm sorry, because it feels like a disconnect. You're giving me a business grant for me to fund my business, to do better with my business, but there's already a bill that has grown. I'll tell you a personal experience. The restaurant we've gone from a bill of 87,000 monthly, NEPA or PHCN, whatever it is, 300,000+. Wow. So if you give me a grant for my business, how much difference is it going to make when you still have this massive electricity issue that is a problem for many, many businesses. So give me a grant. But are you doing other things along the value chain of the economy?
Exactly.
And let's also not forget that it's a loan, right? So
when you say grant,
we're expected to pay back. So imagine spending 300 plus as opposed to 80 something, and then how much am I supposed to pay back?
Thank you.
And what's the guarantee that the government, the economy will get better when I'm going to pay?
And that is why locally produced products are expensive, because you have to face a lot of factors. Even if they give you a loan, you are going to factor electricity, transportation, cost of getting your raw materials. There are so many things.
How did we get here, though?
Exactly.
Before, we used to be able to manage, business owners would be able to manage their costs and their overheads in a way that they'd still be in a position to make profit. But now it's as if everything has just gone to the dogs. When you have a 1,000% increase in electricity, for example, and not to talk about other incidentals that come with running your business, the loan becomes useless.
Honestly, look at it. All manufacturing companies that are of repute have left the country. And do you see how medicines have skyrocketed? And there's so many other little FMCG products that, at least before, fast-moving products that
and they didn't go very far. This manufacturing companies went to our neighbor.
Yeah, it didn't go far.
And again, let's even say all of these bottlenecks are not there. How fair is the selection process? Because we've heard a lot of things in Nigeria where na person we know person we know.
But are we not discussing it on this table? If a lot of us are not aware, you have to be in some circles to be able to know these things. I've collected one grant, maybe like 100K. From Ogun State government once, and that's because I have a friend in the ministry that knows I have a business.
Exactly.
So she was the one that called me personally to apply.
What did blessings just say now?
Exactly. You just have to know somebody
to be able to access it.
There's so many people who I wouldn't say deserve it, but need it more than others. You're giving it to people who are standing well, because if you are in touch with the government, then at least there's a little bit of something trickling down to you, normal. Then you're now having to, the fact that we didn't even hear about this in the first place, it means that the information is for those that...
That's why I was consulting some of the National Association of Small-Scale Enterprise Business that I...
Because you would have expected a national campaign. Oh God, this story is going to take me to my favorite agency, National Orientation Agency. You'd have expected some kind of...
need to make you DG.
No,
honestly.
You'd have expected a sustained campaign. And I watch competition because I want to know what's going on. I watch the channel. I didn't see those kind of things. And I know there are many agencies that can approach channels and stations and TV stations and everywhere around and ask for some kind of pro bono. This is of national interest or give us a discount. Radio. I listen to radio. I listen to talk stations. Stations that will be the stations you need to give this kind of thing.
Social media.
Social media.
Exactly.
I did not see. So I'm going to leave room of doubt that it just didn't come across my timeline. It came across other people's timeline.
How possible is it that the media is not aware? The media that's supposed to tell people.
Just like he said it before, these are things that you need to get to the ears of the people.
Absolutely.
If truly the intent is to help the general populace and not a select few. And that's why I buy what she says. It cannot be about a select few. At least let everybody have an equal chance at applying. So if you don't get it based on criteria, at least you know that you had the chance to apply. When we were younger, half of the time when we listened to public service announcements, those were the things that we heard on it. Anything that had government involved, that you needed to hear, we hear it on NTA. After some time, we started hearing it on even private stations. But now it's as if, because they give budget for these things and they don't want the budget to come to those media agencies, we don't hear anything.
I won't even fault people that say that the government is not doing anything to cushion the effect of, the economic hardship and all that. I won't fault them, because these speculations come out when you hear, okay, now let's say we've even heard and then we've told them, let's say somebody somewhere wants to apply, and at the end of the day, your neighbor did not get it, your friend did not get it, so who is getting it? At the end of the day, there's nobody that is getting it. But then you hear the government say, people are getting it, they're beneficiaries.
The people you know are not qualified. Playing devil's advocate.
What are the people you know? What are the people she knows? Somebody
what are the qualifications? What are the conditions of this? And the transparency issue. So 200 billion is small money for the Nigerian government, but it's a lot of money. This is meant to help businesses cushion the effects of the situations that we're facing, help them to be resilient, hopefully not have to let go of people, which will lead to more unemployment in the numbers. But I even want to go to a point of the loan repayment, oversight, and monitoring. Nigeria does not have a fantastic record of getting repayments for these type of loans. I remember the agricultural farmer loans that they gave, I think it was under whose administration, either under Jonathan or in the early years of Buhari's administration, to recoup the money was a problem.
Yeah.
So for me, I feel like this 200 billion has gone.
You don't think
Let me also add to that, because I remember the study that came out on that. Women will return the loans. Study based on Nigeria. Women returned the loans, and then when they were able to give more, they put it back into their businesses. Men were not returning the loans, and men were using it for personal. Some people were actually using it to go and marry extra wives. I always remember that study stuck out to me. And it was based on the loans given here in Nigeria. They struggled to get the money back from men for whatever reasons, but women had more than a 50 or 60% return rate on the loan.
But if there are effective monitoring systems, I believe that we will be able to, would I say, tedious and very maybe unrealistic to some people as the student loan seemed. I know a lot of that because I covered it in one of my. You could tell that they were serious about it. They meant business. So a lot of students who did not intend to repay for any reason, maybe of course there was also the challenge of the level 12, which was unreasonable and all that. People just steered clear. So I believe that if there is an effective monitoring system, they would collect their money because they are very good at. Exactly.
Please don't forget this.
Because the government is very good. The government is very good at
a lot of finance. You see, what just makes me sad about our country is the fact that we have people who have done these things privately. If a government has a good idea, if they sell it to some of these private companies who have financial institutions, they have products that help them get back. You know, one of the things that we have problems with in Nigeria is data alone. You'd be surprised that you go to some agencies, they can't find half of the thread for the monies they gave out. They'll be still carrying files up and down, and of course some things will be lost in transit, and accountability will become a problem. But there are people who have done these things. We can't keep going back to the Stone Age. That's why every time I look at all this data gathering, these BVS, the NINs, it should be for a good purpose. I should be in Lagos. I should be able to access it anywhere in the country, as long as there is data.
So on the financial side, there is data. I hope people know, I don't know how many people know that there's credit checking agencies in Nigeria now. If you want to, and banks and all these apps, I'm not sure if they still have access. There was a system they'd be able to access to see if you were paying the loans you had gotten before. So instead of people shopping from bank to bank before, I'll take a loan here, I'll take a loan here, I'll take a loan here, CBN and others worked to close that gap. So it was a system that you could, if you're a financial institution, and I think fintech, I'm not sure if they closed it for fintech, you could access to check somebody's credit. So people are getting rejected and they don't know why. So the sophistication is coming, but that's why we would have a private sector to work with government on this. And the minister was talking about verified applicants. How did you verify?
Those are part of the thing, data.
How did you verify?
You can't go to every single individual homes and let's
even know, make it transparent. Let's see the verification process, the selection process. Let's know. And again, it comes back to the fact that Nigerians sometimes are not good people. As you guys were talking, I just remembered, we that will borrow MTN credits and break the SIM and go and buy another SIM. Well, not me, but we, people like Nigerians. Yes.
So a lot of people do your hands like this. You're encompassing the table.
A lot of people do it.
Should we get hand back?
No, but to be honest, like while I was in school, even now recently, you see a lot of people borrow airtime and break the SIM and change their SIM
because how much airtime are you borrowing? There's limitations on it depending on how much airtime you've been using.
Leads you to break your SIM.
People do it. So I won't even be surprised.
I think, it's a Gen Z syndrome.
No,
it's alien to us.
They do it for
no.
Oh, wow.
Time is gone.
I think
alien to us.
I think they do it for the fun of it. Gen Zs, you know, they feel that the world is their oyster. They feel, what's that line of yesterday? Oh, they feel,
it's not a Gen Z thing. I'm not even joking.
You're my whatever.
We are
going the discussion.
At least you are not calling us your mothers today. Thank God.
Guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching Just Siri, because this is where we draw the curtain to a close. A big thank you to our guest, Florence Uwaleke Okechukwu, for joining us on that important conversation. It was important that we had that conversation. Let's try and keep the memory of those who passed alive and honor them by ensuring this never happens again. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Me and the ladies ask you to join us tomorrow for more fearless conversations. Until then, stay informed,
Bam.
stay empowered,
Bam.
stay fearless,
Bam.
stay good looking, stay on the right side of...
Say stop.
Bye.
Stay in peace.